Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I know I'm the seventh speaker, and I always have this misfortune of either being the speaker before lunch, so everybody's like, oh, this is the speaker before lunch, and she's standing between me and lunch, the speaker before dinner, or the speaker after lunch, and then standing between them and their nap time, and then the speaker before dinner, but thank God I'm not the last speaker today, so thank you, organizers. All right, so anyway, I want to quote something from what Shaliza said about Malaysian Dan Lain Lain. I am Dan Lain Lain. I am proud to be a Dan Lain Lain. And I have to tell you my story, because when I was growing up, I was a colored Malaysian. Colored Malaysian. But something changed me. It's the force. It changed me. And that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you my story. Okay, I'm sure all of you play many roles, right? All of us. We're someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's auntie, someone's cousin, someone's niece, a peer, someone's someone. I play many roles too. That's me and my husband. We just came back from a wonderful holiday in Chiang Mai. That's why I'm all relaxed. I'm not always like this, okay? That's me with my 3 beautiful daughters. And if you ask me, why am I doing all this speaking at women's events and all that? Because I have 3 daughters. If I don't do it, who will? If I don't speak for them, who will? If I don't share my mistakes so they don't make the same mistakes I make, who will? That's why I do this. That's my 3 beautiful daughters. I am the corporate vice president of Advanced Micro Devices. I'm also a team member with many, many team members, okay, who are all Gen Ys, by the way, and Gen Is, and they're the most amazing people to work with. How many Gen Ys are in this hall today? Gen Ys. You guys are super amazing. And if the old people tell you you're not, don't believe them. Okay. I also speak at various conferences, like I spoke at the SEMA conference in London, and I also spoke at conferences in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was very scary. If you want to know the story, you can come and ask me later. Okay. And I'm also part of a dance tour group with my management team. We're not very good. So don't ask us to go for any of your annual dinner or whatever. We're not very good, okay? But I was a colored Malaysian. And the reason for that is I grew up in Alostar, Kedah, in a small village. And I grew up as a colored Malaysian, not because I disliked the other races, but because I was confused about my own race. You know, there are not many Thais around. Not many, right? And so when you were growing up, you're brown skin, but you're not Malay. You speak Hokkien, but you're not Chinese, right? And you eat with your fingers, but you're not Indian or Malay or whatever. And you're like, I'm confused, so what am I? And and of course, at that time, and this was in the 70s, I cannot go tell my parents I'm a confused teenager, and I don't really know who I am, because they probably think I'm mad and should go to Tanjung Rambutan. Because at that time, you didn't have Google and the internet to check all these, and psychiatrists and all that, people don't talk about. It's taboo. And to add to that, right, I failed my HSC Kertas Am at the age of 17. It was a big exam, and I failed a compulsory subject, which means that no matter how good I was in everything else, I failed. Everything else. Confused teenager, fail exam. What does that mean? Loser, right? Like Glee, like that, loser. But I had choices. I could be depressed. I could just say, hey, you're a loser, hopeless, useless, don't do anything, forget it, just, go find a job, get done with it. But I told myself I wasn't going to give up. I wasn't going to get up. I was going to get up. I was going to brush it off. I was going to stand tall, and I would fight for me, for myself. And that was when I realized that to manage the difficulty, it all starts with me, nobody else. Your parents cannot do anything for you. They couldn't afford to send me overseas, right? Not like the kids today. We didn't have twinning or, I don't know, 2x2, 4x1, I don't even know what they call them anymore, okay? And I had to empower myself. I wasn't a kitten, I needed to be a tiger. I love tigers, by the way, okay? All right? And I had to alter my attitude. So, I found my momentum moment. I realized that I equals force. I am the force. And I have to change myself to become that force. So when I was putting this together, when I talk about momentum, it is about the force. It is us. Every single one of us is a force to be reckoned with. So, if things go down, if you have a bad day, you know what? It's okay. Smile, things are going to work out. May not see it now, but there's always a greater happiness. There is always a greater happiness. Why beat yourself? There are worse people in the world than us who's suffering even more than us. We have everything. And yet, today, it's hot, no air conditioning. I'm one of those who go and stand by the fan also, okay? But I want to thank the organizers. I didn't have to go to the gym today because I'm sweating so much, I probably have lost a couple of pounds. So thank you very much for giving me the spa effect. Okay? All right. So I started my journey. I couldn't get into any university. No university would take me. I failed Kertas Am. I failed general paper. Okay? So what do? I tried to apply for university anyway to make my parents happy. Because all my brothers and sisters, they went to university. I was the youngest. I am the youngest. Never go to university. So maybe a little bit hopeless. Not so smart. Okay? But I decided that I will take matters into my own hands. And as I was flipping through the newspaper, yes, at that time in my life, I used to read newspaper. Today, I don't anymore. Okay? So I was reading the newspaper and I saw, TAR College. TAR College actually would take students without Kertas Am, without general paper. And so I applied. I applied for TAR College. And I applied and I couldn't figure out what accounting qualification I would do. Then I was thinking, maybe I should just take the simplest one. Right? You know, when you're 17, you always want to do simple shortcut things. Correct? So I took the simplest one. I thought it was the simplest one, but now actually it's the most difficult. All right? So I took the simplest one, which was the Institute of Chartered Management Accountants. I went in. Well, you all know, right? Hey, wait. I have a story to tell, yeah? Okay, so I took the Institute of Chartered Management Accountants. Okay, I went in. So I see all these, and I have to be a little bit racial here, sorry. Okay, but I went in and they were all Chinese. TAR College, all Chinese, right? And then I'm like, all Chinese. And I realized that they're the most hardworking group I've ever been with. They work really hard, which means I have to work really hard because I didn't want to fail again. So I worked really, really hard. And, you know, when I went in, I heard from the seniors, networking is very important. Network with the seniors. And then they teach you, you can actually do your advance. So I did my advance, 6 papers. I think it was like 3 months or 6 months after I joined. I took 6 exam papers of CIMA. I passed every single one of them. Every single one. 4 A's and 2 B's. How about that? And I can still remember because I decided at that point in time, I wasn't stupid. Right, not stupid. So anyway, after that, I started doing advance. And guess what? I am an advanced student of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and I finished it in 2 years. And you know, that was my journey. And I can tell you, what I also realized is you have to make a career checklist. The journey is not so simple, just hantam, just go. No. You have to checklist. You have to have a vision. What was my vision? Not to fail ever again, ever, right? What was my strategy? Or study your ass off. Get notes from senior, do past year's paper, right? What was my structure? I had to have a structure. Make friends with senior, learn, study, learn with them. What's the process? You have to go through that. How do you measure your performance? You have to pass every exam. And then you go through it all over again. And I've used this for every single thing that I do, every project that I run, every organization that I set up. And I set up the entire AMD shared services in Malaysia, here, in Penang. There are 250 of us, and we support the whole world. And we are proud because we are all Malaysians. Okay? And you can do this, and so you have to make a checklist where nothing happens by accident. Huh? Okay, and remember the journey is not always easy. You have to learn from your experience, you have to learn to forgive, you have to learn to forget, and you have to learn to move on. There will be people who will say this person is going to fail, this person cannot, this one cannot, that one cannot, right? I learned something from my boss. You know the binomial distribution or not? Normally the people in the middle are average people like us, who's like happy, once in a while sad, once in a while. Then the other spectrum is like too happy. Then you're wondering if these people are for real. And then there's this one is like everything is always down, right? Hang out with the middle people. There's more people there, right? Okay? So that's what I learned. And then I've had good bosses and bad bosses, and I've learned from every one of them. I learned how not to be a bad boss. I learned how not to be a bad boss. So you can learn from everything from everyone. And I've learned a lot from you ladies, you awesome ladies, okay? And then you need to forget the FUD. You know what's a FUD? Haha, it's not a 4-letter word, right? It's 3. Okay. Okay? So it's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And you know who I learned it from? My CEO, who happens to be an awesome lady, by the way. So the AMD worldwide CEO is a woman. Okay? And you learn to forget the FUD, and you just do it. I'm going to share with you my Taekwondo story. I started doing Taekwondo 1.5 years ago, I think. About 1.5 years ago. Because my daughter, who happens to be sitting in the crowd now, and I won't pick on her because then she malu, right? Didn't want to continue Taekwondo. So I say, okay, you don't want? How can I make you continue? She say, okay, you, mommy and daddy have to join Taekwondo. Okay, lor, I join. All right, no problem, I can do, right? And so here I am, right? A lot older. And then all of them white belt. Kids. Of course, I don't spar with them. I didn't pick on any children. Okay, no. Don't, huh? Okay. So, that was me in competition a couple of weeks ago. That was me with my sir, who is my instructor. One of the things I have learned as well is when you are traveling, please make sure that there is no competition because they will sign you up for everything. Everything, okay? And he did. He signed me up for everything, including free sparring with a woman half my age, and also has a red belt black tip. And guess what? You know, I have the force in me. I won! And that is another story. And then, a family who does Taekwondo together stays together. So, the harder the climb, the better the view, but please stop. Enjoy the roses, look at the view, enjoy the view, celebrate your successes with the people who help you get there, because you never get there alone. Right? Remember, don't be a bad boss, be a good leader. Okay? Now, you have to be yourself. You cannot be anybody else, and I don't want to be anybody else, right? Because the original is always better than the copy. And also, everyone else is taken, so why do you want to be anybody else? And also, you have to be crazy, be weird, don't be afraid of what anybody thinks. I have realized that as I get older, I really don't care what people think. I don't care. I was in Munich There was this beautiful cathedral. I wanted to take the picture of the roof. I lie down on the floor, I took. And two of my employees who's traveled with me, cabut. And told me, don't call us, we don't know you, don't call us. All right? Because what is that to be ashamed of? We should be proud of who we are. I am a Malaysian woman who's done everything I can do and still does taekwondo by my, and I can lie down on the floor because I can still get up after I lie down. So I'm a bit weird. I want to tell you my weird story because my daughter is here and she said, don't make a fool of yourself, but because she said that, I'm going to do it. Now she knows what it's like when I tell her, don't do something, and she does it. Okay. She thinks I'm a witch. Yeah, she thinks I'm a witch. My daughter thinks I'm a witch, Why, Because sometimes, before my husband can say something, I already say, oh yeah, dear, maybe we should go there. And he was just thinking about it. But my daughter doesn't realize that is not witchcraft. That is 24 years of marriage. Okay, and then sometimes my daughters, before they do something, I will tell them, hey, you better don't do or don't go, not worth it. And then they say, wow, mommy was right, that also not witchcraft. That was experience because we probably did it before. But my daughter always says, I come up with these really good quotes. Who is the one who like quotes? Yeah? You can borrow, All right. If I was a human, I would be a mutant. Okay, how about that? Because my daughter thinks I'm a witch, so I said, I'm not a witch. If I were a human, I would be a mutant. And actually, I have no idea what that means. Neither does she, neither does anybody else in my family, but it just came out. Yeah, I guess it's that weirdness in me, Now, the next one is even better. We were driving back from Alosta, and this is what she said, hey, what happens if there were no cars invented? How would people travel from Penang to Alosta? I said, don't worry. If cars were not invented, it's okay, we can take the bus. And she's like, and your kids look at you like weird, kind of weird. Have you all seen that look or not? You probably have, right? I love it when they look at us like that. Right? So it's like, then she looks at me weird, and I like being weird. I will continue to be weird. I think it's fun being weird, right? So anyway, these are my not so famous quote, and maybe one day it will be famous, all right? Okay, next. You have to find your momentum moment and start your journey. Don't wait for anything to happen to you. Don't wait for something like a miracle, like somebody talk to you and say, oh, it's your momentum moment. No such thing, It needs to happen. You just need to know it, grab it and go, and never look back. Just go. Go for it. The next one is pay it forward. I always believe that we are very lucky. We should actually give. Giving is better than receiving. I'm a Buddhist. I believe in karma. I believe that if you give, you will receive. Not in this life, maybe in the next, but you should give. Right? And you should pay it forward. Why am I doing this? My kids. Women who work with me, I want them to know that if I, who failed, can do it, they who probably passed and probably smarter than me, can do it even better. Be a role model. Do you know that every single one of you are role models? Somebody's probably looking at you and saying, you're my role model, but they probably dare not come and tell you. But so everything you do, someone's actually watching you. So you have to be a good role model. You have to want to do it because you can and because you care. And I think the 8 ladies who are here, you are role models because you're sharing your stories. And you should be proud of that. And finally, go and find your momentum moment, and may the force be with you.